Greetings from St. Louis Ponds Park in Marion County, Oregon. Happy Election Day, November 5th, 2024. I hope you went out and voted. All right, Brenda and I are just going to do a quick little video from this nice area, St. Louis Ponds Park. We're just outside the nice, quaint little town of Gervais, Oregon, and we're going to shoot a little bit of video here at this nice property. Brenda and I, we've been here probably 6 or 7 times already, and it's a nice area to come out and just walk around. This is primarily a fishing spot. They have there's actually 7 ponds that they have here at St. Louis Ponds Park, and it's a popular angling spot. A lot of the local fishermen come down here to fish, and they even allow some limited hunting here. There's a few walking paths that you can walk around on, and they even have a dog training area. There's a large field out near the parking lot where the hunters can bring their hunting dogs, and they can go through all their hunting dog training and all the hunting dog drills. So this is kind of a neat area. Brenda and I found it a few weeks ago after we moved to Woodburn, Oregon, and it's a nice area, and we're just going to walk around a little bit and shoot some video and give you a better up close and personal look at St. Louis Ponds Park. Alrighty, we just disembarked. They have a nice large parking area here at the end of the park, and there's a hunter that actually just showed up, and he's undoubtedly going to take his hunting dog out and do some training out in that field. But we're going to walk in the opposite direction, and we're going to walk down the dirt gravel road that we just entered the park on. And this is not a hiking area per se, but Brenda and I like to come out here and hike along this road. And if we hike all the way to the main road where this gravel road intersects the main road, that's just under a mile. So that up and back would give us almost 2 miles of walking. We may or may not go that far, but it's a nice place to come out and just walk around. It's a nice day today. Luckily, the heavens looked favorably upon us today, so there's no rain. We've been getting quite a bit of rain here over the last 4 or 5 days. So there's been several days where it's been too rainy to actually come out here and shoot video. But the rain is a constant bedfellow, obviously up here in the Pacific Northwest. And I actually like the rain, but you know, it does take a little getting used to when it happens on consecutive days, you know, day after day after day. That can get a little bit old after a while, especially for someone coming from Southern California. You know, I'm used to sunny Southern California, so it does get a little, there is a learning curve involved, but I like it nonetheless. But it's about 51 degrees today. There's a light breeze blowing. It's cloudy and overcast, but overall it's a nice day. And as you can see, fall has definitely arrived. Nice covering of leaves on the ground. All the deciduous trees are changing colors and dropping their leaves, and you know, so it's obviously a nice autumn day. Autumn has arrived. All right, Brenda's doing her thing, and that's why we come here. I want Brenda to just run herself ragged. She needs to get out here and just run full throttle and get some hardcore exercise in, because once she does that, it makes my life a lot easier. She sleeps a lot better, and she's not nearly as big of a pest when she gets all of her energy out. And I'm going to be starting and stopping this video at different points in time. I have a tendency to ramble a little bit too much, I think, so I'm going to try to make this video a little bit more succinct than normal. But just to give you a little background, St. Louis Ponds Park, there are 7 main ponds, 7 main fishing ponds here, and this is one of the main ponds here. And this is a nice little parking area that they have, that you can park here and easily access the pond that's right in front of us. And there's a little welcome sign there that gives you a schematic of the park layout. And there you go. You can see that there's 7 main fishing ponds, and then there is a large dog training area that you see just south of the main road. And there's 2 additional ponds there. There's 2 shallow ponds near the dog training area, and those ponds, I think they stock those mainly with sunfish. The other ponds have a combination of bass, crappie, catfish, sunfish, perch, and they stock them seasonally with rainbow trout. Okay, give you a little closer look of this pond. This is pond number 7, I believe, according to that schematic. And the water's really clear. You know, you can see several, probably over a foot down into the water, you know, in some of the deeper areas. The water's really clear. There's not much algae. There's a little bit of undergrowth and there's some shrubbery underneath the water, but overall the water is it's actually quite pristine. And it's a fairly good sized pond. There's a total of 7 ponds, 7 major ponds here again, and they basically, between all the ponds, there's about 50 miles of shoreline. So they laid the ponds out in a way to maximize shoreline access. So they're all easy access. They don't allow any floating devices or boating here, but you can pretty much fish from any location on any one of the ponds. We're gonna venture on down towards the main road, and we're just gonna keep walking. Let Brenda go out and do her thing. Please, Brenda, run, 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 run. I want her to burn off as much energy as possible. And of course, you have the ubiquitous blackberry bushes all over the Pacific Northwest up here. There's no blackberries right now, but when they're blooming and in season, it's awesome. You know, you can just pretty much stop wherever you are and pick some blackberries. They're all over the place up here. And this park sits on 260 acres. So it's a large parcel of land, which is kind of neat because there's so much to explore, so many areas to roam. And I did mention they do allow some limited hunting in the area, only in certain locations. And unfortunately, Brenda is very noise phobic. And we've been here a few times where they were out shooting. I think they were doing skeet shooting out in the hunting dog area. They were shooting at targets and she was not having it. She was scared and she was distracted the whole time we were here, poor dog, you know, so she's very anxious. She gets spooked and scared easily by loud noises. So that's always likely going to be an issue with Brenda. All right, this is the curve that takes you basically in the direction of the main road. We just walked from this direction and the parking lot is way down there on the end. So we've covered a bit of distance already. So now we're going to make the final approach to the main road and decide whether or not we want to continue on or turn back. And it's a nice area, as you can see. It's agriculture as far as you can see. You know, every direction they're growing different products, different agricultural items. So it's all farmland, it's all agriculture. There's a tree farm just a few hundred yards up ahead to the left. And as you can see, the railroad track parallels this dirt and gravel road for this particular stretch. And we've been here numerous times when the Amtrak train has come whizzing by or just the normal freight train. So you do get some train traffic through here every now and then, which is kind of nice. It adds to the rural ambiance. These trees are just absolutely gorgeous. And there's just a gentle breeze blowing, so you can faintly hear the leaves ruffling in the wind. And just off to the right of the main road, this is pond number, it's right near pond number 2. I think that may be pond number 3. But pond number 2 is a larger pond, and we'll go take a quick walk around pond number 2 to give you an up-close look. Okay, here's one of the small parking areas for pond number 2, and we're just gonna walk out in that direction and shoot a quick little video. Alrighty, this is pond number 2. This is one of the larger ponds because it does go around the little bend over there. So there's more water that goes back behind the bushes over there. So it's a pretty good sized pond. And you have a nice little dock out there upon which you can stand and cast your line in the water. So it's kind of a neat little area here. And there's a walking path that goes back around the pond, and then it enables you to connect with some of the other ponds back further in the property. We would go out and walk on that platform, but I don't want to go annoy that fishermen over there. So we're just gonna keep our distance. But Brenda wants very much to go over there because we normally like to walk out on that platform, but oh well. But again, this is a pretty large pond, pond number 2, and the water, just like the other pond, is very clear. We're gonna walk up at least to this access gate here, which is 0.6 miles from the parking lot, so that's a fairly decent walk. I would like to go further, but there's a big, black, goofy, boisterous, friendly Labrador that lives in a little farmhouse just off the main road, and whenever that dog sees us, he bolts straight for us, and then he ends up following us all the way back to the parking lot. And the only problem is Brenda doesn't like this dog. This dog loves Brenda, but Brenda doesn't like him, and she doesn't appreciate him following us all the way back along our walk back to the parking lot. So I don't think we're gonna go anywhere near his house, so we're gonna probably just turn back at this gate. Alrighty, this is the access gate. They used to have a manually operated gate here, from what I understand, and they used to close it for several months out of the year. It actually used to be closed, but now they have this automated gate that enables you to come in pretty much at your own leisure. And I assume you have a card or a code or something that you sign up for. I'm not sure how that works, but they do have this nice automated gate. And they close in the wintertime, they close at 7 p.m. and then they open up again at 6 a.m. So as long as you come between those time periods, you can access this area at your leisure. Whether the gate's closed or not, you can pretty much come at your own leisure. You want to head back, girl? You want to go back to the parking lot? I think we're going to head back. Just give you one last look at this nice valley, Willamette Valley, in the heart of the Willamette Valley agriculture area. We're about 8 miles, 7.5 to 8 miles from Woodburn, Oregon. It's 7.5 miles from our apartment. So it's pretty easy to get to here. It's a nice, easy access area, and we come down here periodically because it's a nice area that I can let Brenda just run around and get her exercise in. And, you know, so I'm glad that we found this place, and we're not too far from Salem, Oregon, and Gervais, Oregon is just a few miles up the road. All right, we're pretty much going to end the video here. We're making our final approach back towards the parking lot. We're going to call it a day. I appreciate you guys watching this video, and I will say, you know, so far so good. Brenda and I have been living up here for about 3 weeks in Woodburn, Oregon, and I think we like it so far. You know, coming from Southern California, there's a bit of a learning curve in terms of just getting used to being here. You know, I'm used to the sunny weather and the dry temperature, dry weather, you know, the crowds and the people. So coming up here to Marion County, Oregon, Woodburn, Oregon specifically, takes a little getting used to, but I like it. It's peaceful, it's pretty. I like the trees and the greenery and all the rivers and everything, and the rain even though the rain can be a little monotonous at times, it is nice. So we're slowly becoming accustomed to Oregon, and eventually I think I'll become a full-fledged Oregonian.